Okay, first of all, how much do you love the idea of icons and innovation? I think we are at a pivotal moment in our industry and in history where we have so many generations in a workforce all at once. And you know, a few years ago, it was, I don't want to change, I don't want to change, change is coming and I don't want to change, but we're there now. We are in the midst of change, and that's why we're seeing this marriage of icons and innovation and this honoring the past and looking toward the future with ASB turning 100, ASB and ABA both revamping their strategic plans, lots of young people coming into the industry. It's all happening all at once. We are living in the middle of the change. So there's no more talking about it, we're living it. I just think as maybe as society overall, we are in the midst of change, and nothing was the same once we entered the pandemic. Pre-pandemic, we were never going back to pre-pandemic, but when you're in the middle of changing and growing and in the middle of an evolution, it's a natural feeling to want to hold on to something that's familiar. So I can do something that's different as long as I can sort of hold on to this. And so it's happening with what consumers are asking of baked goods, and that's why you're seeing a lot of new-stalgia happening. And so we're sort of on a journey together with consumers. You know, I've had a point in my career where I was kind of tired of talking about multiple generations in the industry, and it was really around the time that it was the boomers saying, the millennials are coming, what are we gonna do with the millennials? And I'm a Gen Xer, so I guess I'm just used to being ignored. Like we as Gen Xers, you know, we sat back and watched the dynamic between the boomers and the millennials. But now the millennials aren't the new kids anymore. They are established and they are rising in their careers, and now they get an opportunity to usher in another generation. So now we have Gen Z, and they're learning from the millennials. And I do think, in all honesty, I do think that the Gen Xers are kind of with the boomers in starting to develop those exit strategies and looking at longevity and thinking about succession. And that all kind of ties back in with all of the innovation and looking forward and why we don't have a choice but to think about the future. It's great to, you know, think back on the good old days, but we are in a changing of the guard, and we don't really have a choice but to think about how are we creating longevity and what is the legacy that we want to leave. And just a call to all the Gen Zs, can someone please teach me TikTok?